I need to look at you guys.
Banner boy. Wait, I'm not at the fucking thing.
Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders. Let's talk Penguins and Rangers. But let's not talk about Flyers, because they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Oh, good, beautiful Memorial Day evening from the Friends and Rivals podcast to everybody around the globe.
I must interrupt you for a second.
Bang, bang.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
What is this?
Birthday to you. Happy
Did you get a bunch of Chinese people to sing happy birthday to me?
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Was that not good enough?
I loved it. I don't know, how long did you have to search to find that? That was great.
Right before we went on, I spent
Right before.
tens of seconds.
It was the least. It was the least.
It was the least I could do. It really was the least.
Absolute
I could do,
least
really.
you could have done.
Yeah.
Have we ever had that conversation here?
No.
Maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. But first and foremost, to keep up with promises made, the New York Icelanders get their man and their new GM. And listen, the rest of us at the Friends of Rivals podcast cannot be happier that a very first time GM has the number one overall selection. We couldn't be more happy for you guys, Nick.
I'm happy.
Congratulations.
So,
And the GM is Marcy Darcy. Is that what I heard?
Marsh Darcy. Yeah, that's probably closer than how I'll probably pronounce it. Mato Darcy, I believe is how it's pronounced. I don't know. We'll find
Wait, that's his name?
Mato Darcy?
Oh,
I was
boy.
calling him Matthew Darsh. I don't.
Maybe it's Darsh. It's probably Darsh.
I
It's
was using
probably,
letters and numbers and stuff.
it's probably Darsh. You're probably right. I don't know. This is how I kind of learned the names. Anyway, he's a new GM and executive vice president of hockey operations. So he's basically gonna run the show.
Are they going to hire a president, or do they still have a president? Well, Lou was president, right?
Lou, I mean, technically he's, I guess, still the president until his contract ends. I'm not sure if it was when exactly it ends, to be completely honest. But it doesn't sound like he's gonna be back. It sounds like he's pretty much gone eventually. I'm trying to see if there's anything else they said about it.
Like
with,
from the NHL or Earth? I mean, you're
no, from the Islanders.
It's going to evaporate.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
only joshing.
Yeah. So
where'd he come from?
Tampa. From Tampa, he was the assistant general manager for the
Hmm.
last few years there.
Assistant
And-
to the general manager.
Assistant to the general manager, correct?
Right, yes.
He joined the front office in like 2019, and then won the cup with the Tampa at the Isles' expense, 2020 and 2021. But hey, he did a good job there, and he's been running the similar job. Obviously, not the full enchilada as the GM, but he was running, I think, a very similar hockey operations kind of role. So he's familiar. He played hockey this century, unlike the other guys that were all basically in the running. It sounded like Lou, who last played hockey when they, I think, ice hockey skates were made in I don't know where I'm going with that one, but basically really fucking old, like leather skates. I don't know. He really didn't even exist in playing hockey until the 60s, 70s. He barely knows hockey anymore. He's barely there.
His teeth were made of wood.
I'm just happy we have somebody that's more present, that's been played hockey 10 years ago, was in the AHL not that long ago, understands the league and the way it's been moving, came from a successful organization, all the things that you want your team to kind of like move into. Not a guy that's like a retread, which kept same names coming up, and I'm like just praying it wasn't one of those guys. So hey, we'll see how it goes. we had the first overall pick. He's obviously going to have to make a decision very quickly on directionally where they're going to go. I think the first two big decisions are what are they going to do with Noah Dobson? Are they going to keep him and try and repair his last season? And do they think he's last season an anomaly? Do they feel that, he's trending that direction and not going to be a top guy? I mean, that's the first decision I feel, because once you make that decision, then kind of is going to make a big dent on how you're going to go in the first overall pick and what they do there. So those are my two things I think they has to make first on his plate. What's up, Tom?
So they were discussing Brendan Shanahan possibly calling the Islanders in this role or in another role. Is that all but now gone?
I think so, because it sounded like, that position kind of dried up for him, unless they brought him in to be, to also run the hockey operation, like the, whatever the president role. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to keep that internal, just because they combine the role of executive vice president and GM. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I think they would have announced it together, but they didn't really do that. So It doesn't seem like you would. And usually it would be the opposite way. If they hire Shanny to run all the Islanders and then have him hire the GM,
he makes the decision.
Yeah.
But they very quickly went with John Collins was running one of the minority leaders or minority owners. And basically led the search himself. Like that was his primary job for the last month in terms of Islanders work, but that's with like Ledecky and Malkin being the majority owner. Ledecky's he's been the face of the Isles, fans and a lot of the initiatives he does. They all kind of run their pieces. And so Collins taking over this kind of role kind of makes me think maybe he's going to be more in depth, hands-on in that regard, which may be good, because someone like Malkin's not really, he doesn't do any of the operational stuff. He's just a silent, owner. He just wants to, I guess, own the team. I don't know what he does. He's very private, but obviously Ledecky being the guy you see all the time at the games and on the on the news, and then Collins, I guess, now coming in, it's a good another person to kind of keep that piece. So I think he'll be the more of that internal operations area, and then let Darcy just kind of run the show internally for hockey and make the major decisions. So we'll see what happens there, and then obviously I think they'll give another year to Waugh and see how that plays out. I don't really foresee that changing so quickly because he's only had a really
is there a better option out there than
That's
Waugh
the
right
other
now?
problem.
To be honest with you,
it's always difficult to say. And then to be honest, the makeup of the team, we're gonna see some changes for sure. I don't know if it'll be drastic this summer, or it's probably gonna be over the next 2 years, for sure. Big turnover expecting, I would imagine. They didn't bring this guy in to just do what Lou was doing and pruning, just little pieces here and there. I get the feeling he's going to remake the roster and really look to overhaul things, but we'll see. I'm excited because, they have some cap room coming up. They can generate cap room by making moves. They have a few guys who they can start moving out, but he's got to get creative with a couple of the problems that Lou created for him, right? With some of these long-term contracts for guys that are third-line defensemen, and Scott Mayfield and Pierre Engvall, who is an enigmatic player who's making $3 million a year for another 6 years. Like, he wasn't even in the roster half the year. So, and not because he was injured, because he wasn't playing good. So those are the things you got to figure out. Do you make these guys work by having a different play style, having different guys around them, or do you start to make those moves and really change the roster into your vision? And so it'll be interesting to see how this guy goes and everything. And I'm hopeful because directionally he's a guy I think that, again, younger guy, been closer to hockey than some of the other guys in there. There were the names that were rumored, and hopefully it goes well. So we'll know soon enough.
Are there better jobs out there than the Islander job for Shanahan? Is there any jobs out for Shanahan besides like Vancouver? Who the hell wants to go to Vancouver? I don't think that's a GM role.
Honestly, I'm not even up on which
Yeah,
teams have
I'm
a
not even gonna
GM
speculate. I have no
open
idea.
spot, to be honest.
Yeah. I have no idea right now.
Does he want to
so-
play
hey,
coaching?
Nick- Well, I'm not sure Shanahan wants to do coaching. He
Yeah,
wants
I
to do
doubt
that
it.
executive type of thing for sure. No doubt. But
There's always
listen,
jobs.
thank you. What's that?
There's always jobs opening up. We'll see.
Oh, of course. There could be an Islander coaching job opening up. Did they go on record to say that Waz good for this year, or we're gonna talk to him and see if the direction's the same? Yada yada.
He's got to be on for next year. I mean, you got to make that move now if you're going to be interviewing candidates. You're falling
Yeah,
behind.
I don't think they're going to move from him this so quickly. It would have to be exactly as what Bill said. I mean, unless they had somebody in mind. If he came in and was like, I want to bring my guys in, they already know who it is. You know.
Well, I mentioned this because I want to bring something up. Is that the Carolina Hurricanes are about to be like forever in the Eastern Conference Final, it seems. You keep rolling with Brindamore? Now, how far? I mean, is this now a coaching thing, or is this a personnel thing that we have to worry about in Carolina? Because
This is a great
obviously
question.
they've had their opportunity for so fucking long, and they just can't get over that hump. And their record in the Eastern Conference Final was so eye-opening and shocking to me. I almost thought it was a joke. I was like, "Okay, internet, you're playing a prank on me." Ha ha ha! Lo and behold, it's true. Is Rod Brindamore safe?
I think it depends on how you look at it, right? I was reading an interesting article or comments or whatever, right? But the idea was the whole premise was this: Carolina has no superstar on their team. They're a team of a lot of depth and a number of very good players, but none of them are able to take over games. There's Aho, Svechnikov. They're very good players. They're built around, I guess, but they're not superstars, and they lack that aspect. And to be honest, when you think about it, I mean, look at the teams that have been taken over in like the last few years and winning those cups. I mean, it's not that far off if you think about it. Maybe it's the players and that aspect that they miss because they're just such a solid team every year. Brindamore gets a lot out of them, but man, they fail.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you a question since you brought it up? You said that Carolina lacks the superstar. Who's the superstar in Florida?
Chuck, and then you have Bennett and Barkov, and I would say
He's
I would
Matthew
think Kachuk's
Tkachuk's
the
a
superstar.
superstar.
I would say he's a superstar, but not in the reasons that.
I would tend to agree. I understand those reasons.
Yeah, because he brings an X factor to the game and changes the game. He impacts it so heavily. Barkov is like a silent killer. He's that like defensive center that's just one of the best in the world at what he does. I mean, yeah, the other side has got Aho, who's very good as well, but I'm sorry, Barkov's better. And then, they have Reinhardt, who scores 1 million goals. He's just the same as Svechnikov in a sense, where
probably better.
But better. But that's the thing.
Better.
And then you look down the line and you're like, man, they just got better players. And it's just, but the Tkachuk, when he came over, it changed them. Like that team looked so much better with him in there because he brings that like just hugely physical game. He comes up big when he needs to. He did it in, when he wasn't hurt, in the Four Nations. I mean that until he left the game in the gold medal game, he came out and it looked like he was on him and his brother on fire. He brings it, man, and they don't have that guy. They just don't. They're just so safe. They're so safe. They have the system. They play in it, but it doesn't make that jump. It's just
I don't think
predictable.
Kachuk is a superstar, by the way.
Really?
I don't think he's a superstar on the Florida Panthers. I still think Bobrovsky is. I think
Okay.
Bobrovsky is the superstar.
Yeah, Marchand too.
This-
That was a big
this-
addition.
This is
Sure.
a good topic. For
Yeah,
the
but I don't
offseason.
think Marchand is a superstar anymore, Bill. I agree. He's
Probably
a
not
fucking
anymore.
pesky player and a player that you want on your team in the playoffs, 1,000%. I don't know if he's a superstar anymore. He's not going to get
But
paid
they're
like
pretty
that in the
stacked.
offseason.
I think we should have a
The
superstar scale in the offseason. And go for the teams we think are actually superstars.
the Hurricanes remind me of the Devils in so much as they don't have feisty players. I don't think
Yeah.
who's feisty on their team. Who's going to go in the
On-
corner and win the puck battle every time?
On Carolina,
Yeah.
Aho Jarvis, Chatfield. They got some players that are going to go into the corner. Well, look, you took Pesci and who's the other guy? Who's the other forward that
Stefan
that you guys
Nason.
brought up? Nason, exactly. Those are two heavy guys that they lost in the offseason from last year to this year. And losing those type of guys is not going to help you in a series like this. I'm pointing at my television.
Rantanen might have helped.
Yeah, Brandon would help.
Yeah.
They should have traded for him. Why didn't they?
Why not get that guy?
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. But how much longer do you ride this Rod Brindamore thing?
So
and
I mean-
ignore the whole thing. I mean,
So
they're
the-
still listen. They're still a good team. They're still getting box office. They're still getting playoff checks. So the engine, the economic engine to all this in Carolina is fully functioning and working well.
the streak predates Rod Brindamore.
Is it Paul Maurice or is it Laviolette?
Who I don't know who the coach was.
whoever the
but-
fuck. Yeah, whoever.
But
the fuck
Brindamore was
before
still
Brindamore.
playing when it started.
Wow.
So I think it's I mean, it's also you got to factor in, okay, it's the conference finals. You're playing one of the four best teams in the league.
They're not a bad
So,
team.
If you
They're a
play
great
a
team.
system, odds are that other team is going to know how to defend your system and get around your defensive system. You've got to alter your game plan to match who you're playing, and I don't think they do that.
It's going to be a fascinating offseason for the Florida Panthers to see who they try to keep, who they lose, who they keep and have to lose because they kept somebody. It's going to be really, really interesting. Like, how do you let a guy like Sam Bennett walk away from your team as a UFA? I mean,
Well, you can't afford them.
it's
You have to. Yeah, you got to bite the bullet.
Ugh.
And next man up
oh
mentality.
yeah, no, I get it, but oof, he's going to look good on Broadway next year.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
With everybody else.
With everybody else, no doubt about it. But listen, there's a lot to catch up on. I wanted to lead with the NHL this week because we led
Imagine
with
that.
music last week, so I had
Imagine
to make
that.
sure that we led with the NHL at least. But last week was certainly a big week. We had the Sean O'Hara outing on Wednesday of this past week, and it was a dreary, dreadfully cold day in Bedminster, New Jersey.
Frustrating.
It was extremely frustrating. I was not properly dressed, but we survived nonetheless, and it was a great day raising money for a great cause. We had the biggest turnout in the history of the event on such a shitty day.
The man who complains about 82-degree temperatures in Florida came up to New Jersey where it was 59 and decided he was going to wear shorts.
That's a bad
Yeah,
idea.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I was going to be running around all day crazy like, so I figured I'd be sweating in the cold with pants on, so I just went with shorts. And sure enough, I was right on. I made the right choice. But holy shit, did we get to meet some people?
We did. We got
There
to
was
meet
there were some people at this place.
One
Got some
of
guests
us,
lined up.
one of us even had the distinct honor of taking a Sharpie marker and writing on one of these spectacular superstars. of the
Well,
sports world.
hold on. Spectacular superstar. Slow down. Slow your roll.
Well, was it Matthew Kachuk?
Okay, easy does it. Well, first and foremost,
Oh,
we-
hold on.
what?
It
What?
was the Matthew Kachuk of the Cincinnati Bengal organization. Who was it? Who is the Matthew Kachuk of Cincinnati
Today?
Bengal history? History.
Yeah, I don't think he's a
All
today
time.
player.
Well,
I think you got to
you
go
already
back.
told us who it was.
Bill,
What are we
you're
supposed
supposed
to
to
guess?
play fucking along for the
Oh.
show.
No, but I didn't want to get there yet. We're not
was,
there yet. We're not there at that part in the story. Yeah, exactly. This is a clusterfuck. Well
All right,
done,
sorry.
boys. Orchestrated very well.
Well, it wasn't on the fucking agenda.
But-
What do you want me to tell you?
You know, we're in the war room, you know, kind of preparing for everything, and all of a sudden in walks fucking Lawrence Taylor. I'm like, holy shit, you gotta be kidding me. And my jaw like dropped. I have never been that starstruck about somebody before in my life as much as that. If I had in the past, it was nothing to what I experienced with Lawrence Taylor. Holy crap. But I still got a bone to pick. That's right. I was a young 10-year-old Tom. Is it my internet light is on? Is this
Yeah,
am I coming clear? Or is it all choppy?
you're
It's
frozen.
so choppy. And
While
yeah,
we're
your
waiting,
video's
while we're
frozen.
waiting for that, look at this face. I mean, is that not a starstruck individual or what?
I couldn't tell what was
Yes,
happening in the
listen,
picture.
I'm
with
gonna-
Tom.
Which one's Lawrence?
I think it looks like he's shitting his pants. To be honest,
Hi, Mr.
Oh,
Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor or me?
Hi,
You.
Mr. Taylor. My name's Tom. Can you hit a home run for me today?
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Hi, Mr.
I gotta say,
Taylor.
I thought he'd be taller for some reason. It's always weird when you
Yeah,
like that
Tom
stuff. But
was so scared he didn't even want to take a picture with him at first.
wow.
I had to push him to get the to take the picture. He was
Wow.
so nervous, just a little nervous guy standing in the corner.
I'm typically the one to like jump in front and get in front of everything, but that one frightened me. I was a little
nervous.
scared. I was a little
Yeah,
nervous. Then
Chasing
Eli
guys in the
Manning walks
pharmacies and
in.
shit.
Yeah, Eli Manning then walks in, and now it's just craziness. And there was for all of our hockey listeners, there was a Devils player there, Ken Danico. I did get
Former
a
player.
chance to get a picture with Ken Danico, and that was lovely. But later in the day, we had a Bengals helmet there because there was a couple of players that played at Rutgers that are now part of the Bengals organization. They signed the helmet, and I didn't realize that WFAN's own Boomer Esiason was also at this charity golf outing. So I said to the to the charity lead, I said, "Listen, I'm going to go take this helmet. I'm going to go get Boomer to sign it, so it could be part of the silent auction. We could raise more money." He said, "That's a great idea. Go get it done," and I did. Went up there and had one of the more awkward encounters with Boomer
Man, just
Esiason.
Quintessential Tom Chattergo coming up.
Oh boy.
So I say, Mr. Esiason, could you please sign the helmet for the foundation? He said, no problem. His hands were kind of full when he's coming off the putting green, so I tried to help him. I handed him the helmet, and then I handed him the marker, but the cap was still in the marker, so he handed the marker back to me. I took it off. I know, Bell, rookie mistake.
Oh,
So I
God.
took the cap off and handed it back to him, but I handed it to his right hand, forgetting that he was a lefty, because those fucking lefties. And then he like jiggled his left hand and went, "Oh yeah, duh, that's my mistake." And I pointed it right into his left hand, tip
And
and all,
wrote on him.
and wrote on his black rain glove. Thankfully, it was a black rain glove and nothing more. And then I just told him I was a loyal listener. That was all.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Slow down.
That's
Go back.
all I said. I said,
Go back.
faithful listener, been here since day one, Boomer. Good job, buddy.
It's
it might not be listening to in
2025,
Florida.
gentlemen. What do we know about just about every radio show in existence? They are broadcast over the airwaves through a traditional radio as well as
Internet.
the internet.
Shut up.
This guy says, I used to listen to you all the time when I lived up in New Jersey. To which Boomer pointed out, you know, you can listen to us on the Odyssey app.
Which I have many a time.
Right.
But it's just
Sure.
different. It's different down. It's a different lifestyle down here.
Could have just lied and said, big fan, listen to you all the time. Could have just said that, even though maybe you don't. Stroke the ego a little bit on the celebrity. But no, it's, you know, when I lived in New Jersey, I listened to you.
I think
Now
Boomer will be just fine. I don't think he's even. I don't think he's sweating
I
it when he
don't
goes to
think
sleep
he
at night.
remembers.
We had a visit while we were there of Marine One. Marine One was practicing its landing for an upcoming visit from the president. So they flew in once, landed on the golf course, took off, circled, and flew back and landed again. Boomer happened to be on the tee that I was at that time, and he actually thought it was so cool that he FaceTimed his wife, and he had to show her that it was happening. I thought that was pretty interesting. Celebrities, they're just like us. They're people just like us.
Yeah,
they
they
like
are.
to come up with things like that. It was impressive.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I never blew a Super Bowl that I had completely won and was like telling
Very-
him I was going to Disneyland before the game ended. But yeah, otherwise, very much like us.
I'm sure we don't want to bring that up just in case he's listening. He's a big hockey fan. Boomer, if you're listening,
Ranger fan.
props to you
Oh yeah,
Sorry, Steve.
for weathering the storm.
Boomer is 100% listening.
Yeah, we got one listener. It's one person listening. It's probably him, and now he's probably not going to come to the outing ever again.
Right. it is all my fault. But listen, that wasn't it. I got to celebrate my birthday this weekend. Thank you very much for the birthday celebration to begin the show. It was awesome. 48 is starting off very, very well. But so we go into Orlando, and Nick, we stayed at the hotel where we played mini golf that one time when you came to Orlando. We stayed at the hotel that's right there.
Nice.
So we check in there and we go to the parks and we go to dinner. So we're in and out of the room basically all night. We're just having a good time. And then Lauren, Tyler, and myself decided to Epcot. That actually sounds like the music that was playing at Epcot where we were walking around. That's fantastic. Good job.
Thanks.
And rain, and it was kind of miserable. We made one stop around. We were drinking around the world. It was a lot of fun. When I get back to the hotel room, though, my little 12-year-old son worked out with the concierge and got me a bottle of champagne and a piece of chocolate cake for my birthday. Fucking completely on the house and waiting in the hotel room when we got back with just a 12-year-old in the room.
And
Now,
then he
mind
looked at the bottle of champagne, and you know what happened?
Expired.
It was expired. It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't very good. It was house, but you know what? It was a thought that matters. And man, this 12-year-old kid, if you could do that at 12, well, first off, I don't understand how a reputable hotel like Marriott would give just a 12-year-old champagne.
It's
without
Florida.
But they're still on Disney property, bro.
It's Florida.
Look, they gotta see, like, it's just anybody here with identification. Literally anybody.
Somebody had to book the room. It's not
fine.
fucking the movie Home Alone.
This is the first half of a future Steve Stomach right here. Champagne was delivered to a 12-year-old boy.
But I was blown away and floored that they would just bring it to a 12-year-old boy. But goddamn,
When they brought the
that confuses me
champagne to the
also.
room, the concierge discovered hookers, wall-to-wall hookers in the room. The boy was running an illegal prostitution ring out of the hotel room.
yeah, so good for him. But it was
Maybe some money.
it was a wonderful weekend nonetheless. My ears are just
over.
killing me in this thing. Yeah, it's over. Got to go back to the. Gonna go back to work tomorrow. Back to the old grind, as they say. Sorry, boys. But we get a night of NHL playoff hockey tonight. The Florida Panthers could be punching their ticket back to the Stanley Cup final tonight if they defeat the Carolina Hurricanes. A little more than halfway through the first period. No score down in Sunrise. All right.
And checking again, who had picked
who had the
Carolina?
Canes? Yeah, who had the Canes
in the first round?
Was that Steve?
In the third round here.
Was that Steve again? Was that Steve
I
again?
had Florida.
I think I might have Florida in 6. Nick might have Florida in 5.
I don't know. I'm not, is anyone keeping track of these things? I'm not really keeping track. So.
Let's see what we got.
Anybody,
Let's
really.
see what we got.
Like Nick's gonna.
I had Panthers in 6.
Nick, shut up. Nick, shut
Edmonton in 7.
Nick, stop.
Bill had Edmonton in 6. Panthers in 6.
Ooh.
Tom has
Maybe
the Stars
7.
in 6.
7.
And
Yeah.
Panthers in 7.
Panthers 7. Yeah. Well,
Steven had the Stars in
Oh.
7. And what's this? The Hurricanes
no.
in 6.
I did it for the show. I was only doing it for the show.
I think Steve accurately picked the consolation series. They're having that this season, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He pulled the reversey card on us. He's going to come back and bite us, I'm sure.
and Edmonton's up in their series 2-1, game 4 tomorrow night in Edmonton, right? Still in Edmonton?
Yeah.
Yep. We are inching closer to a rematch of last year's finals. It may happen very well.
When was the last time that happened?
Good question.
Oh, wow.
Was that the Detroit-Pittsburgh series? The back-to-back was
had to have
Crosby's
been. Yeah,
first?
back-to-back
Yeah.
in 11, 10,
7,
11?
7, 7, 8, 8, 9. Yeah.
Oh, 7, 8, 8. Yeah, okay. Wow.
Also, we could have a rare back-to-back lose the Stanley Cup final 1 year, win it the next year scenario. The Panthers lost to Vegas, won it the next year. Edmonton lost it last year. If they win it this year, that's a kind of cool little
Interesting
thing going on there.
Yeah.
That would mean Florida's next year?
Well, no, it would have to start over then.
It would have to. Why? Florida lost this year.
So just Florida,
Nothing saying that they
Florida
couldn't.
and Edmonton now just are going to flip-flop back and forth. I always like it when a team that lost gets their chance at redemption. I guess the last team to do that was the Penguins in 2008 and then 2009.
If it was against the same team, yeah. Well,
No,
before
even if it's against
before-
a different team, I like that too.
Before the Panthers, you mean, right? Yeah.
But prior to that, I mean, you probably have to go to 70s, maybe the 60s.
Well, the
Slower
Oilers
to
didn't.
find
Now
out
the Oilers lost to the Islanders. Didn't the Oilers win the year after they lost to the Islanders?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
in
had
82, 83 they lost,
that
and
was
then
the start of
83,
their-
84 they won.
There it
Right.
is.
Again, beating the Islanders, so that was a true redemption kind of thing.
Not a bad trivia question. It's actually a pretty good one.
Thank you.
The old days, the trivia with Bill, old days. Yeah, man.
Oh man, remember that?
That's
when
what I
there
should
was
do
that
again
man
next season.
Scamming on the show. Not like
Well,
last
Now,
week.
this
Fucking
is
catastrophe.
Divine Bell.
Well, then,
Just-
what? Now you have teased the
Better
segment
be
this
better.
evening
It's
Yeah.
got to be better than last week, right?
It's
to
amazing.
be stellar. Oh boy, where are we going?
It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because I try to take so much advice from everybody to put this together. So we're gonna
All
go
right.
through 80s television, and we're gonna like have little votes on each slide. Who's like the best character from a show, or like maybe sometimes it's the top character from different shows. And,
Was this
and
a-
Tom was all about the pictures have to be huge, and so I got all this stuff going on.
Was this a Chat
Well, it depends,
GPT
though.
presentation as well?
Partially, it started that way, and then
Oh, boy.
yeah. So
So I'm prepared
here we
for
go.
90s and 70s shows to pop up here.
I refine this with the.
Okay.
So we're gonna go sitcoms. The categories are sitcoms, action and adventure heroes, and children's TV. So we're gonna start with sitcom legends. First, we got obviously just for reference there, Alyssa Milano, who was on Who's the Boss of the '80s sitcom show.
Yeah.
All right. So first up, the first show we got is Family Ties.
Oh my God! What are we doing?
What? Huh?
Nothing. Keep going.
I don't know much about Parkinson's, but I don't think it changes your body that much.
And so
we should have a tab, Bill. A tab.
What? Holding a what?
You should be holding a tab or something without any sugar in it.
Who's our favorite? Who is our favorite sibling from Family Ties?
I'm gonna go Tina Yothers in this scenario.
Yeah, Tina Yothers. Okay.
I agree. I'm going Tina Yothers as well.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep here.
Nice. Okay.
Good job, Tina.
We'll move on to the Cosby Show.
But
we got
some of these things don't match. Just so we're clear.
Do they? Oh, well, if you say so. I thought it was pretty seamless when I did these when I got these heads in here. I thought it was really good AI. Like this is like good deep fake stuff. I thought.
Yeah.
But
Heathcliff
Huxtable,
yeah,
Claire Huxtable, or what was Lisa Bonet's name in that? Whatever she is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
Obviously, I knew nobody was gonna pick Vanessa, so like we didn't go like Vanessa. You know.
I'll go Lisa Bonet.
All right.
I was looking for more of a Theo in here, but I guess you know, I was always a big fan of the Bill Cosby. I'm gonna go with Bill Cosby on this one.
Oof.
I like his style.
I'm gonna have to go with Steve on this one. Lisa Bonet.
Oh, Lisa Bonet. All right.
How was I overruled? Oh boy.
We got Cheers. And you know, George Wendt recently passed, so that kind of had me thinking about the '80s. So he's kind of the reason why I went in this direction this week. Anyway, George Wendt.
I mean, Shelley Long probably would be offended that she wasn't among the top three, right?
Yeah, but she was only in half of it anyway because Kirstie Alley ended up doing the last half.
All right. Well, how about fucking Rhea Perlman then? I'm sure she's pissed off.
Yeah, I'm a little bit upset with her because she was recently on the show Poker Face and her acting was absolutely horrendous. Horrendous.
100 years old, didn't she?
Yeah, true. Also missing is Cliff Clavin, you know. But
all great characters. In honor of his recent passing, I'll go George Wendt on this one.
Norm.
It's a norm. It's a norm for me too.
I was thinking Norm, but Woody's distracting me, so I'm going Woody.
I hear you, but I mean, look at Norm's though. Norm's is it's
also great.
Going with Woody.
Norm's still winning this one.
I like that you didn't even edit out the Instagram dots between Woody's legs.
I didn't really bother with that. Yeah. Not that this was all original anyway. So now we're moving on to action and adventure heroes, such as I've got Terry Hatcher there on the left from the 80s show MacGyver. And I don't remember if that Superman thing was also in the 80s that she did. We're going to jump into the A-Team. Who's our favorite A-Team character?
Wow.
BA for sure.
Look at Mr. T's nip almost like slipping out of there. I like that.
That's BA Brack. He's ready to go.
Oh, yeah. I pitied a fool who don't pick Mr. T.
Yeah.
Mr. T, all right.
Agreed.
Nicholas? Yeah.
All right.
T.
We got a sweep for Mr. T.
It's like we had to. I mean, I don't want him kicking my ass. Hey, boy, look at my cute in them jeans.
So next up, we're gonna go show versus show with some action guys. This is gonna be different. So again.
Can we go back to doing Eddie Murphy Delirious lines? All right, never mind. Go ahead.
Catch up my butt cheeks, Ricky Dillgall.
MacGyver versus Knight Rider or Magnum PI.
Knight Rider all day.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
hit.
Look at MacGyver though.
Hit in the cock, hit.
Yeah, it's I'm German. Let's do
Ooh, you sing us one of his songs?
no.
I would go. I'm going to make it so it's not a clean sweep. I would go MacGyver on this one.
Look at that. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
This one might be an instance where the face of MacGyver is even more attractive than the original.
Well, I think
Well,
MacGyver's face on that
MacGyver's
is
a cutie.
irrelevant.
That's scary.
By the way, we should all know who the middle one is, right? Are these random pictures
Michael
or no? Like the girl, Bill. The girl, who the girl is.
No, I don't think you're gonna know.
No, it's Michael Knight, Bill. No,
No, you're not gonna know.
because it looks like Alicia Silverstone.
But then in your
Like back in the day, Alicia Silverstone.
then you should go with that. Then you should go.
All
with
right,
that.
I'm sticking with
Just
that.
have
I
that
like it.
belief.
All right, I can do that.
Now, children's TV favorites like
Wow.
this chick on the left was on Boy Meets World. I don't know. I don't remember her name.
This is a lot of milk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fake milk.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Wow.
We're going.
Wow. Captain
Mr.
Kangaroo.
Rogers for Sesame Street versus
Yeah.
Captain Kangaroo.
Wow.
Oh, Grouchy.
I'm definitely feel
Right.
a little grouchy.
Very conflicted here.
Yeah. I'm going with Oscar the Grouch.
I'm going Oscar the Grouch every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
There you go.
There you go.
Let's get off this page.
Twice.
Yeah.
All right. So that was it. That was our walkthrough
Oh God.
through the 80s, through 80s television.
Wait, that was it?
Yeah. I didn't want
I do this for like an hour and a half more.
Okay, so for next week I'll remember that and I'll
Look how upset
make
Steve
it
is.
much longer.
Oh yeah.
My brain, I'm so confused right now that you shouldn't feel a certain way when you're seeing a picture of Oscar the Grouch. Like, just
Why?
Captain Kangaroo had it going on though, man.
there shouldn't be tingling. Never mind.
I never liked Captain Kangaroo though. I was never a big fan.
No, me
It was
neither.
sad. Just terrible. And you know what? Do everybody remember that game show Sale of the Century? We talked about it. We've had to have talked about it. 196 episodes. We've had to talk about Sale of the Century. Does anybody remember Sale of the Century?
Yeah.
No?
No.
Oh,
I don't remember that
it
show.
was a good show. I used to hate it when it came on, but eventually I really liked it. Now I would watch back episodes.
Was that a game show or
Yes.
It was a game show. It was like 10:30 a.m. game show. Like tweener, like right before Price is Right. So
right
we're like,
before Price is Right.
"Fuck,
Absolutely.
would this game show finish, please? So I can watch something else. It was one of those. All right.
And what was the purpose for that soliloquy?
I don't remember.
What?
I have no idea.
And that's why you listen to this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that feels better.
Honestly, not a clue. Did that play?
Oh,
Yeah,
There it
not
feels
played twice. Very good.
I didn't hear it the first time. My internet tonight is like as bad as Bill's ever was.
Mm.
So, all right, we're gonna go to the state. This Steve Stomach Group bringing to you our Lord 2011. Please go to shit. December 2nd of 2011. December 2nd.
December 2nd was a Friday.
Ooh. Could have been Bagel Friday, baby.
Who is big? No. Breakfast was no breakfast. Breakfast was skipped.
No Belvita, nothing.
Lunch was a Wendy's Caesar side salad, 5-piece chicken nuggets, and a medium Coke. Regular.
Wow.
2 miles on the elliptical. And for dinner, I just have written down Pizza Hut fiasco with Tom and Lauren.
Fiasco.
That had to be when the Lauren ordered something, they didn't get the order right, and she fucking let them have it. so she got free pizza. It had to be a night, something to that effect.
I'm gonna say you're probably right, Tom. Why did you pick Friday, December 2nd, in the year 2013?
Well, that is because the Tunnel of Love couple busted for having sex on a water slide. So the headline was couple busted for having sex on water slide at Opakabiat, not saying that word, in Poland, some Polish amusement park. Security personnel at the Polish amusement park ejected 2 tourists earlier this week after they were caught joining the water slide high club. I'll let that sink in one more time. The water slide high club. It's a good one, right? At the top of one of the attractions, facility cameras captured the incident, allowing park attendants to meet the naughty couple with buckets of cold water at the bottom of the slide. Oh, God. Oh, this is so incorrigible. The woman was filmed straddling her boyfriend and starting to make love before the pair shot down the bright blue tunnel in what must have been a breach of the water park rules. Metro reports these people. Officials with the park escorted the man and the woman straight from their Tunnel of Love ride to the park exit without allowing them to retrieve their clothing. They were at it for a good 5 minutes before anyone realized what was going on, one lifeguard said. That's what happened December 2nd, 2011.
Disappointing. Had this happened a mere 6 days later, you'd have gotten it.
I
would have gotten it.
Later reports, a follow-up to this, he did come
Twice, probably in 5 minutes.
down the blue tunnel.
What?
Wait,
So
was
how
she a
did they
Smurf?
spend 5 minutes on the slide though? Like, were there other people waiting to get down the slide?
I think they were just at the top of the slide. No one else, but maybe other people were behind it. Maybe they were voyeurs. You don't know.
All right, so I want to. So they okay, because I was imagining at some point they were actually going down the slide mid coital relations, which would scare the ever living shit out of me. Okay, so that didn't. I can't imagine
like a slide where you're riding down like a tube, or just on your bum.
any which way. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it working out. I'd be afraid to hit a bump.
The bump would be great. Maybe not. Actually.
Well, or great or tragic. I don't want to sprain certain things.
Probably more closer to tragic.
Sure does.
All right. Well, go enjoy your rest of your Memorial Day weekend, however much longer that we have, a couple of hours. Go enjoy the evening. And we will see you next week. Friends and Rivals podcast. Billy, say something, Woody.
Well, it being Memorial Day, I just got to go with the old handy and always appropriate. Happy Memorial Day, everybody.